Welcome back, everybody. It's time for another video, and today I have something a little bit different than I've done in the past. You may notice that I've gotten a 3D printer, and I've been having a lot of fun with it, making designs in Fusion 360. This latest design I have is a case for Super Nintendo games, much like a Genesis case or a one that you see with a Neo Geo, like a shock box, basically, you want to call it. So this is one of the mock-ups of it. I mean, this is an actual print, and I've got the case here with a label on it. This is not the final version of the case, which is not labeled yet. I had to make some changes in this one internally to accommodate things. I originally recorded this video, it was a little long, so I want to keep this shorter. Matter of fact, if you're looking for the STL files which I'll be sharing, they're right in the description, so you can go straight there. You don't have to watch my talking about things. All right, so just the reason I did this initially is that I never liked how the Super Nintendo games were always in cardboard boxes. Even the Nintendo and the N64. I mean, they're fine. I've kept them, and they're all pretty good shape. I have some, but I have a bunch of games that don't have cases that I bought used, in years past. So my initial intention was to make a case the size of a Sega Genesis case, and that's what this first print was done. This is the size of a Sega Genesis case. It has one problem with it, is that you can't fit a manual in it. So it just fits a game inside. Now, one of the things you'll notice here is I've got these locking tabs here. Here's the one side. There's two sides here. It's hard to do with the camera. And they lock it. Now, what I found is that when 3D printing this, that the layer lines and just the tolerances I have on these cases are such that you don't need these tabs. And it was a complication, and it also reduced the interior space for a manual. So I got rid of them on later versions. And there's a second print. This is one that fixed some issues that I had with the first one where a couple layers broke. And so you'll see here, this one is like a fully working case, which I can share this. I probably will share this model, but I'm going to take off these tabs before I do share it. So if you want to have a smaller case, you can. So this is a Sega Genesis size case. And so let's get to the actual production finish version of it. This is one in purple, and here's one in black right here. I'm going to use the purple one just so you can see the interior a little bit better. So, actually, I can't because I've removed the support material, but I'll show you. So that you should be printing this with support material. I do a zigzag on the tab right here, and it's got a 5mm gap, so you can get a pair of pliers in there pretty easily to break that off. And then I've got support material under the two locking tabs here that this breaks off. Probably you could break it off by hand. I don't know. I think I just use some pliers to do that. So you can see this a little bit better. So you've got the tabs to hold the manual, and you've got the tabs to hold the game. And let's open up the one that I actually took the support material off. So you notice it. You can hear it click, and there's no there's no tabs locking this shut. It's just the tolerances in the case. So this is harder to see, but I'm going to put a manual in it. So let's do this way. It holds the manual quite well right there. And then let's put a game in it. So here's Gradius right here. And it just slides in. Well, I'm not looking at the camera. It slides in quite nicely. And yeah, you just pull on the tab, and it comes out. So this is the final version. I printed 2 copies of it. It prints nicely, works out well. I printed this in an exclusive mode in Cura. That's one of the options, which should make a difference because there's no rounded corners in this thing. So exclusive mode would be more an issue if you're printing it with anything that's got round circles or anything like that. And let me see here. Let's talk about how much it takes to print this. So this case uses 166 grams of filament. I'm printing it with 100% infill, and I suggest you do that as well. You're not going to save much anyway if you did switch to, let's say, 15% infill, which is kind of stock and standard in Cura, because the only place that there's any infill is along this wall here, because it's a double wall, and so it's in the lower part of it where it's thicker. And I did 100% in there. It's like so little difference that you're going to get savings-wise. So you can see this has got a higher wall and a lower wall. So these two walls, when they're together, there's an infill there. There might be a little infill in the tabs. But I would do 100% infill on this, And it's all designed with this is printed with a point four millimeter nozzle. So everything's increments of 0.4 millimeters. But I think you'd be fine with a 0.8, which would print a lot faster. So yeah, this printed fantastic. You're going to need a large printer because one of the sides, just because it prints flat like this, and so you're not going to fit this on a small, like an Ender 3 or anything like that. You're not going to be able to print an Ender 3. I'm using a Cobra Max Anycubic, and let me see here. Yeah, the one dimension. Let me see. Oh, that's the wrong program. I need to be in Fusion. And Fusion's closed. It's like 280 millimeters. I think 286 or something. So if you want to print this, you're going to need a larger format printer. The Cobra Max is actually pretty cheap. It's under $500 right now. It's on sale. I'm not getting any sponsorship or anything from this. It's just the printer that I use, and it's a great printer. The only thing I did with my Cobra Max is I replaced the glass bed with a spring steel bed that's got like that Teflon coating on it, so you get this nice texture on it. If you use a glass bed, it's going to be smooth, but it's not going to be smooth like you think. It still has, like, you'll see the lines of the grid on it and stuff. And this just prints just absolutely fantastically. So you see there on the black, and you can see it in the purple as well. You get a real nice print out of this thing. So that's it. I can't think if there's anything else about this. Just that it does take a while to print. That it's going to cost you. I did calculate out. So it's 60. If you get, like, I'm using Overture PLA with this off Amazon, subscribe and save, so I get it like for $16.99 for the black, and you get 6 prints per roll. So it's going to cost you about $2.83 per box, shock box you print. Obviously, you need a printer to do it too. So I'm not going to be selling these. I'm making the design free, and so anybody who wants to print this can. You can design labels. This label is just a scan I got off the cover project, and I added some black padding around the outside and printed it to the proper sizes for this case. And this is just printed on my laser printer on regular paper just for a test, and I use spray adhesive to attach it, so I use Super 77, and it works fine. Oh wait, you can hear that on the edges. So I would suggest that you do it on a label print, and then you get a whole sheet label print. You're going to need probably like 8.5 by 14 labels to do this if you want to do it like as one piece label printed, or you could do 3 pieces. And that's kind of what I did here. Just I do have 8.5 by 14 glossy print paper, but I just didn't do that. I did them as 3 separate labels and just put them on just to get this shown. So yeah, so anybody who wants to get these, download the files, and you can get your labels and print them out and stick them on, or you don't have to put any labels on it, or you can come up with whatever idea you want for putting labels on this. It doesn't have a plastic cover like a Super Nintendo game, Sega Genesis game does. I didn't design it to have that plastic sheet that goes around it. It probably could if you want to melt one onto it, because it is PLA, you can melt it, and you could get it to join together. So. And I'm looking forward to see what other people do with this. And I will be doing a Super Famicom and a N64 variant of this case, and I'll be sharing that as well. I just haven't made it yet, and should be pretty simple because I have them as separate bodies in my Fusion file, the case and then the holder. And I might do a Nintendo case as well. It will be larger than this though, because it has to accommodate an NES game inside. And that's just a fun. I'll just probably only print one myself and make sure it works, and then I'll be done with it. Because I have so many Nintendo games that it would just be crazy expensive to print them all. I mean, I have a lot of Super Nintendo games that don't have cases as well, but I'm mainly just doing this for my higher value games. I mean, this isn't a high value. I just really like this game, and it was easy to get a label for it. And it had a manual and it had a game, but just didn't have the case. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I will have more videos coming up, and I will also share the Genesis style STL file as well if you want to do that. Thanks for watching.